Colorado ballots are finally in voters' hands. Are you ready for Election Day?
This year's homecoming was extra special. We'll tell you why.
Greeley seeing weather in the 70s this week, but will that last through Halloween? Stay tuned to find out.
Homecoming weekend ends in victory for the UNC football team. Full highlights later on in sports.
This is BearNews. Don't go anywhere. The next president won't be the only thing you will vote on in this election. Voters also choose whether to keep incumbent Senator Michael Bennet and Colorado's 7 U.S. House members, along with a bunch of local officials. But besides the candidates, voters have to decide the fates of several ballot measures.
Some are constitutional amendments, while others are revisions to state law. Here's what to consider before voting. Among the most controversial is Amendment 69, which would place a state single-payer health care system in the Colorado Constitution. This is a statewide program that would provide health care for Colorado residents. Benefits that the program provide include hospitalization, oral, vision, and hearing services, and laboratory services, maternity, and newborn care. Beneficiaries don't pay deductibles or have to make co-payments. A 10% payroll tax would fund the program, which is projected to cost about $25 billion a year. People under Colorado Care could still enroll for other health care programs. Also attracting a lot of attention is Amendment 70, which would raise the minimum wage from $8.31 to $9.30 an hour. It would increase 90 cents an hour each year thereafter until it reaching $12 in 2020. Amendment 71 would make it more difficult for initiative petitioners to amend the Constitution. Voting yes requires gathering signatures across all of the 35 state Senate districts. It would require amendments to pass by a 55% supermajority vote. Amendment 72 proposes raising tax on cigarettes by $1.75 per pack of 20. Money made from tobacco tax goes to different causes, including health-related programs, research on tobacco, related health issues, grants for veteran employment, health improvement, and homelessness prevention, and toward construction of community health centers. Proposition 106 is also known as the Colorado End-of-Life Option Act and allows making assisted death legal. Colorado law makes assisting another person to end their life felony manslaughter. Voting yes makes this act legal among patients with terminal illness who receive a prognosis of death within 6 months. Proposition 107 restores the presidential primary elections and allows non-affiliated voters to participate in either party's primary, but not both. Colorado currently holds local caucuses where people choose presidential candidates. A primary is a statewide voting process where registered voters cast secret ballots for their candidate. The last time Colorado held a presidential primary to award delegates was in the year 2000. Proposition 108 also talks about the primaries in Colorado. Colorado has a closed primary system, meaning that only registered electors affiliated with a political party may vote as parties selected non-presidential candidates. The proposition would allow people to vote in the primary elections without declaring an affiliation with that party.
A couple of other statewide measures are less controversial and more housekeeping. Amendment T considers the Colorado removal of exception to slavery prohibition for criminals amendment. The removal of this provision makes it unconstitutional for convicted criminals to work without pay or restitution. Amendment U supports tax exemptions for some possessory interests. Money made from leased government land or property that is $6,000 or less is valued as tax. as taxed. Property tax money is used for services including public education, parks, and hospitals. Supporters say it reduces the trouble of collecting the tax. In Greeley and Evans, you'll also find ballot measure 3A. This would increase Greeley-Evans School District 6 taxes by $12 million a year starting in 2017. The mill levy override would sunset after 7 years. You can get more information about the amendments and propositions at ballotpedia.com. For more information on ballot measure 3A, visit greeleyschools.org.
Have you posted a picture or shown anyone your completed ballot? If you answered yes, you broke the law. Colorado is one of the 17 states that does not allow voters to post a completed ballot. The punishment for showing the content on your ballot is up to $1,000 and up to a year in jail. But it is completely legal to take a selfie with an empty ballot, so make sure you capture your selfie before filling in any of your choices. If you have a selfie doing it the right way, post a picture and tag us at BearNews98 and use the hashtag BearsVote. But don't do it the wrong way.
We are seeing unusually warm weather for the month of October. How's the forecast looking, Jackie?
Hello, Bear fans. I'm Jackie Pulizzi, filling in for your meteorologist, John Polidorus. Now, it was a beautiful day outside, and hopefully you took advantage of that. But let's take a look at our current conditions. Currently, we are at 74 degrees outside, and that will change overnight. We're going to become mostly cloudy with a low of 44 degrees, which that isn't very cold, but make sure you're aware of that. So if you're going to go outside, make sure you have that jacket. Now, those clouds are not supposed to bring any rain, so hopefully we will have a nice, beautiful night as we continue to go. Now, we had a beautiful day here, but let's see why we had a beautiful day. I want to focus in right here on this high-pressure system in Texas that came from Colorado and is moving down towards the Atlantic. That's why we're experiencing this August weather in October. I'm not complaining, so maybe you shouldn't be complaining. But let's also look up here at Idaho. There's this low-pressure system that's moving towards the Rocky Mountains. Now, that low-pressure system is going to bring some rain and snow, and that's okay, and it's really good for those ski towns because we don't really have any natural snow, and we're getting closer and closer to ski season actually taking off. Now, over in this East Coast, we also have some low-pressure systems moving and making their way through, and we have some high-pressure systems, so the country is experiencing a range of weather that is just unexplainable for October weather. Make sure you stay tuned for your full weather forecast.
Before the football game Saturday, Greek Life had their own party Thursday night at Butler Hancock. Bear Sync is a yearly event, so this year's Bear Sync featured loud music and tons of laughter coming from their fraternities and sororities. The group put on the lip sync event through choreography and storytelling, from using old music to new jams. The students enjoyed the exciting atmosphere. Although they named the contest winners, everybody took the event as a victory in their own mind. Bear Sync is a yearly event, so if you want to join into the festivities next year, look into joining Greek Life.
President Kay Norton finally breaks ground on the new Welcome Center at the campus commons. Just south of the UC, plans call for the new Common Center to house student services in one location so students do not have to walk all over campus to different offices. These include everything from admission counselors, campus tours, study abroad programs, career services, to alumni relations and more. Even Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper showed up at the groundbreaking. The groundbreaking also coincides with a major funding milestone. UNC received $3.6 million in private funding, surpassing the halfway mark in donor support. This puts the university at $12 million raised so far out of the $73.6 million total project cost. In less than 2 years, the campus commons will be ready to welcome students. BearNews got the chance to get an exclusive interview with President Norton after the event.
Our campus now, we have lots of wonderful spaces and residence halls and colleges, but nothing that, other than the university center, that is really the university as a whole. So that is my favorite part of it, is that people are going to collide and in really positive ways, and things will happen that wouldn't otherwise happen because they're crossing paths.
Full construction on the campus commons starts next summer, and the building is expected to open in fall of 2018.
It looks like fishing season is here once again, but this type of phishing tries to get your personal information. Sometimes phishing scams suggest you have a problem with your account and need to enter your username and password to fix it. Other scams use natural disasters, economic concerns, and personal requests supposedly from friends for money. UNC's technical support office posted information about phishing to try to help you avoid getting taken. Here are some things to watch for. Phishing scams often start with a generic greeting like, "Dear user." Often they threaten to disable your account if you don't reply to the email. Phishing scams will frequently include things like fake links or attachments that actually download malware or take you to attack sites. Often you'll see poor English or misspellings. So what do? First Tech Support says to install and maintain an antivirus program, an anti-malware program, and a personal firewall for your computer. Another good piece of advice: don't click email attachments or links unless you trust the site.
With the holiday season approaching, a group of UNC students is helping put fresh farm produce on your table.
UNC students sure know how to rally for a home game. We'll tell you how students show their school spirit.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
You go to the UC for lots of things: the bookstore, a bite to eat, or a haircut. How about picking up some vegetables? Seriously, the UNC student farm operated the final vegetable stand of the season. In addition, students operate the farm to grow a variety of winter squash, carving pumpkins, tomatoes, green peppers, and more. They also want to make UNC students aware of local food and its movement, and teach about public and environmental health. So why is it important to have local food? SCS senior Ellen Harris says students work in the farm most of the year and tell us about the process of growing the food in the farm.
So we usually start in early spring, March, April-ish with planting seeds. So we have trays that are about this big. We fill them with potting soil, and then we plant all kinds of different seeds.
In addition to teaching about the process of growing food, SCS junior Kaylee says growing food locally has many advantages compared to growing food in industrial farms in terms of social justice.
Local food practices, there's a lot more justice for the people that get to grow the food, whereas in industrial systems, the injustice is pretty great.
If you want to know more about the process and health benefits of the farm, go to the garden right outside of Ross Hall to show your support.
UNC faculty and staff members plan to offer a helping hand to needy UNC employees this holiday season. Sponsors include the Faculty Senate, the Professional Administrative Staff Council, and the Classified Staff Council. The groups welcome nominations using a Helping Hands web form. Only the Helping Hands Selection Committee knows who is nominated. If you'd like to donate, you can. They take cash or gift cards in any denomination, but they can't accept food items or checks.
Poetry to music, students performed at Monday's open mic night at the University Center. The University Program Council sponsors the event. Many students participated, including freshman Charity Buckner, who sang Gravity by Sarah Bareilles, and student Shyla Mars wrote a rendition of Black Lives Matter called I Am. Even though there were no prizes, the participants showed their pride in what they care about. If you missed this one, the University Program Council plans more open mics in the future. You can find information on the UNC website.
It's always fun to get out with family and friends on a beautiful day, take in the sun, and enjoy some college football. Bear fans gather together for a bit of fun before UNC's homecoming game Saturday. Rudy's in Old Chicago help provide food to all the fans going to the game. Men and women enjoyed themselves with some banter and a few drinks. Students entertained themselves by playing beanbag toss and beer pong, while others shot hoops. All fine for the adults, but what about the youngsters? Don't worry, UNC's cheer and dance team set up a face painting station for them to enjoy silly designs.
Coming up after the break, Jackie has your full forecast.
We'll be right back.
Kids will spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Hello, Bear fans, and thanks for coming back. If you're just tuning in with us right now, I'm Jackie Polizzi, filling in for your meteorologist, John Polidorus. Now, Colorado had experienced some amazing October weather, but let's take a look at what the rest of the country looks like. Now, we're going to focus in on the Colorado area first. Denver reached a high of 75 today, which is really warm for this time of the year. Like I said earlier, Greeley hit a high of 78 degrees, and Pueblo was not far behind with 76. Now, if we look over in this Grand Junction area, they only reached 69 degrees, but that's because that low pressure system is making waves towards the Rocky Mountain region, which is bringing that rain and snow and colder weather. Now, if we focus in on the middle part of the country, they are reaching degree temperatures from about 76 degrees to about 83 degrees, which is very warm for this time of October. The rest of the country is also in the 60s and 70 degree range. We have Cedar Falls at 66, we have Omaha at 73, we have Topeka at 71, and we have Oklahoma City at 77. We also have Des Moines, Iowa over here at 51 degrees. Now, they are part of that low pressure system that is working its way towards the east coast. We also have over here Jackson City at 53 degrees, which is also part of that Colorado low pressure system, which is going to bring some weather such as rain and snow. Now I want to take a look back at Greeley. Today we reached a high of 79 degrees, which is really warm for October, and I know I keep saying that, but I can't stress how warm it is. People are wearing shorts and tank tops, which is unheard of at this time of the year. We also are going to reach a low of 44 degrees later tonight. Our record was 80 degrees, which is 1 degree off of our current high, and we reached that in 1983. So our records are coming closer and closer as the years move on and on. We also have an average temperature, of 54 degrees, which is kind of warm, but that's where we want most of our time to be. Now, as we want to focus in over here on our sunset and sunrise, we are getting almost 12 hours of sun in Colorado at this time, which is really exciting for those outdoor people. As we look, the sun rose today at 7:22 a.m. and will set at 6:02 tonight. So if you get that opportunity, make way outside and take a look at the beautiful Colorado sunrise. Now, I also want to remind you that November 6th is approaching really fast, and that is the day where we set our time clocks back. Now, this may not mean very much to you, but it is very important to meteorologists because it changes the time that we do our forecast. It makes an hour difference, which can make a huge difference in the weather. So make sure that you set your clocks back on November 6th. We'll keep reminding you as that date approaches in the next week. And just an interesting fact, we're going from Mountain Daylight Time to Mountain Standard Time, which, like I said, really doesn't mean anything to you, but it means a lot to the meteorologist. So we don't want you to be late, so make sure you do mark your calendars for that big November 6th date. Speaking of not being late for anywhere, well, you may want to know what the weather's like for the rest of the week. Let's take a look at this week's forecast. We have Friday, which is going to be partially cloudy with a high of 80 and a low of 74. This weekend is going to be beautiful weather as the UNC football team heads to Portland State to take on Big Sky rivals. Here in Greeley, though, it's going to be partially cloudy with a high of 73 and a low of 40. Sunday is going to be another beautiful day, so get the families out, have some fun, go on a picnic, because it's going to be a high of 75 and a low of 47 with partially cloudy skies. Monday, which is the little guy's favorite holiday, Halloween, we are going to have clear skies, and it's going to be a high of 71 and a low of 39. Now make sure if you're taking the kiddos out trick-or-treating that they have a light jacket or some sort of jacket so as the weather cools, they're still comfortable and having fun. Looking on to Tuesday, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 67 degrees, and a low of 36 degrees. We cannot ask for any better weather in Colorado as we move into November. So now I'd like to send it over to Steven for sports.
Soccer squeaks out a huge victory on the road. We'll have more after the break.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's no place like home. The UNC football team ended its two-game skid with a big homecoming win against Sacramento State Saturday afternoon at Nottingham Field. The Bears got things started just 2 plays in the game when Ellis Onick II took a sweep run for 79 yards to the house. Unfortunately, the Bears offense sputtered the rest of the half and trailed 10-7 going into the break. Kyle Sloter in the offense regained momentum in the second half when he found Mitch McCauley for a 25-yard touchdown pass. The Bears never lost the lead again, adding a late 54-yard reception touchdown from Akeem Diggs. The score sealed the deal for the Bears as they held on 27-19, sending the crowd home happy. The Bears leave the friendly confines of Nottingham Field for Portland, Oregon, as they face Portland State Saturday afternoon. How can you be homecoming when you're on the road? The UNC women's soccer team found that out as they spent homecoming weekend on the road in Washington and Montana, squeaking out positive results. First up was a battle with Eastern Washington. The Eagles found the back of the net 3 minutes into the game. UNC tied the game in the 29th minute when Paige Moore scored her second goal of the season. The game went back and forth until the 79th minute when freshman Mackenzie Enkelkin slipped past the defense and scored her first collegiate goal, giving the Bears a stunning 3-2 win. After the game, the Bears hopped on a bus to Montana, where they faced the Grizzlies. The game ended in a 0-0 draw, but the Bears won the weekend as they pulled closer to first place. The Bears finish up the regular season tomorrow against North Dakota at Jackson Stadium. Bears, Wildcats, and Bengals, oh my. That is what the UNC volleyball team endured this past weekend. The Bears traveled to Ogden, Utah Friday night to face the Weber State Wildcats. The game went to 5 sets, with UNC coming out on top. Sophomore Courtney Lockie dominated the net again, picking up a team-high 24 kills. The team could only celebrate for a couple of hours, though, as they had a quick turnaround to Pocatello, Idaho, for a date with the Idaho State Bengals. Again, the match went to 5 sets, but the Bengals clouded out a victory over the Bears. Redshirt sophomore Emily O'Neill led the Bears with 16 kills in the loss. The Bears continue Big Sky play with the yearly visit to Montana when they face the Grizzlies and Bobcats. It's too bad Harry Carey isn't around to savor the end of this Major League Baseball season. His beloved Chicago Cubs are one of the 2 teams still standing. The Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians represent the respective leagues as they meet in the World Series. What makes this matchup so interesting is the long-awaited title of being baseball's best. The Indians haven't won the series since 1948, but the Cubs, they haven't won since 1908. Both teams played extremely well in the playoffs, so it should make for an interesting series. The series began on Tuesday with the Indians taking Game 1 6-0 score. The Cubs stormed back to take Game 2 5-1. Game 3 is tomorrow night in Chicago. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and people all over the country take part in the fight. Bear News reporter Jackie Polizzi has the details about UNC and other organizations who join against the fight against breast cancer.
There's more behind wearing pink to sporting events in October.
It's been years since they told her about it. The darkness her body possessed.
Each year, organizations such as the NFL, NHL, NCAA, and others have one game that they devote to breast cancer awareness. At these games, they collect donations and give the money to organizations that fund cancer research. The whole goal behind the pink ribbon is to bring awareness to early detection of breast cancer. But many teams and people overlook the power of the pink ribbon. This year, both the UNC soccer team and football team participated in breast cancer awareness games. At these games, donations were collected, and the games were centered around the idea of breast cancer awareness. UNC is doing its part to make a small difference in today's society. Reporting from the University of Northern Colorado, I'm Jackie Polizzi, Bear News.
Early detection is the key to beating breast cancer. Even when October is almost over, that doesn't mean that breast cancer awareness should stop.
And that's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll be back next week.
Until then, stay up to date on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Bear News 98. Be sure to like us.
We'll see you next week. And from all of us at Bear News, have a fun and safe Halloween.